Dry, hard and dusty. This is what farmers in the Waikato have been living with over the past months.
This month we had about, about a mil, and in fact I rushed out the other night and measured the 0.5 just in case there was another 0.5 of a mil there. Last month we had about 28 mils, so we're starting to really feel it.
And it's not the first year they've had to deal with the drought, leaving some wondering if they've made the right decisions.
But the worst part is that this is on the back of a drought in 07-08, a hard year after that, and then another drought last year. So yeah, that's what's starting to bite in for farmers, and they're starting to, well, like us, we're starting to wonder whether we've made right decisions or not.
Some are saying this year has been the hardest in living memory.
It's very bad actually. It's so early in the season that it's causing a real problem. Yeah, it was this dry. This is our fourth drought in the North Waikato, and the other ones it wasn't this dry until the end of January, and so we're probably 6 weeks earlier than normal, so that's putting real pressure on everything.
Farmers like Jim Cotman planned for the worst this summer, expecting another dry season.
We made a plan on the back of last year's drought. We went out and made sure we had enough feed in place because we used it all last year and during the winter. Leased a bit more land, sold down a number of dairy cows so that our stocking rate was lower. But yeah, while it was a good decision then, it hasn't made much difference to the drought conditions. And
now that the drought conditions are there, those plans are showing their worth.
Farmers are being proactive, culling cows that are not going to be around next year to try and drop stocking rate. Farmers are contracting palm kernel and other feed to try and make sure that they've got enough feed to get through time. So they're taking all the measures that they possibly can, but it's not easy because it's so early in the season.
It's expected that later on this week, Minister Carter will front the Waikato region, declaring a state of drought. Several farmers are saying this couldn't come soon enough.
I think it's really important. There's 2 or 3 reasons for that. Probably the first reason is that it recognises that there is a problem out there. So from a morale point of view, farmers realise that, hey, they're not the only ones in the position they're in, and it's widespread. The second part of that is that it actually provides some funding to rural support trusts to provide help to farmers.
And as head of the Rural Support Group, Neil Baitup's advice to many is to take some time out for themselves.
The most important of all those is talking to family and friends and to get together on some social occasions and just really blot out what they're doing for a little while and so that it doesn't get on top of them. It's important they watch out for each other's health and if they're concerned about somebody, to try and get help for them.
And for those who need it, there are also provisions for day-to-day necessities.
It's basically a payment that's similar to the unemployment benefit, and that allows them to actually buy groceries and perhaps pay school fees and do those sort of things so that they can just pay the telephone bill and the power bill and just allow them to live. But it's certainly no no luxuries in there.
A helping hand reaching out for those struggling in the dry. Scott Milligan, Country 99 TV.